Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
nga twogera ku binene ebiri mu ggwanga tubadde ku kalulu e Kenya twagala okwetegereza
ogambye nti Museveni yabba obululu nakugamba tabba nakugamba
kooti yagamba nti yabba naye ne balega ne bw'atandi byandibwangudde yabba obululu kooti yakyogera. I'm referring to a judgment
written on Monday 25th November 2013. This book is a personal gift to myself to mark my birthday. I was born on 25th November. Emyaka tujawukana ne mama wange. I don't agree.
How do you disagree with your mother on your birthday?
Anti description
wazalibwa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 25 November 1900.
Anti kyenkubuulira
temugikanyako
yagamba 61 zingamba 58. Yes. Anti nedda anti omwana w'emyaka anti nkugambye nti nkaga mugumu.
How do you disagree with your mother on your birthday?
Bantwala mu kyacho okumbatiza n'enkuba faza lwalinyo omwana w'emyaka 3 he was older. Incident eno yengano kukkiriza ebibi
ani yagikunyumiza
ye nakola stampede mu kyachi n'enkuba faza kuntuma George William nganjagala ddala nendeka nga nsutudde gandula mukubi ku ttaka n'adduka ne Christian agitukamu
mu kanisa.
Kati omwana w'emyaka 3 tasobola kukola kintu ekyo aba atya n'okutya.
So you disagree nti wazalibwa 61 or 58?
58.
Ng'owakanya mama wakuzaala.
I disagree with her. Kakati nkugamba
katumalize Kenya.
Does the NRM rig elections?
Yes.
To understand the difference between rigging, political maneuvering and tricks, we have to examine the two. Rigging,
you are addressing
rigging can only be done in an election process. For instance, in the case of parliamentary elections, the constituencies can be gerrymandered.
That's not rigging.
This is rigging. Apache North, Apache East, Apache Central, Apache North.
Your police gerrymandering.
Yes, gerrymandering. Bubi. Atokufera n'okusumagiza. Si bubi.
Okufera.
Safety is safety, whatever name you give it. Namusumagiza, namuyisiza, ungala.
Namufeze.
Namufeze.
Bwenjogera kuwa.
Yonati nkubulira.
Ye package yonna gyoyina.
Mwe rigging temujawula. Tuyina scientific rigging ne crude rigging.
Bonna bubi.
Staffing eyo
bonna bubi. Bonna
bubi. Ne scientific bukodyo. Give for an example. Mu Rwanda rallies zikuba mu bisaawo. RPF epangisa ebisaawo byonna. Kati enkungano ndoze kuba ku mutwe gwo. Si rigging.
That's trickery.
Yes. Era bosoma katabo ka nkugamba. Nti ne Masaka for example, Bukoto that was represented by 1 MP in 1980 Parliament. The area is now represented by 5 MPs. The difference is that the criteria for creating constituencies are clear and known until Nankabiro came in. Every 50,000 people must have a constituency. This cut across the areas in Uganda, which means it's different from the 1980 situation, which was done as a rigging strategy.
So chowakanya chichi.
Rigging nga ekintu kiri across the board. That is rigging. Give nti onywedde enjaga. Doping. Sports. Wanywedde enjaga. This is rigging.
Rigging scientifically or the other way.
Eri nedda.
So chowakanya nti NRM tebba kalulu.
Basinza bukodyo. Nti nkugambye nti omusajja yabajjamu aji. Politics wa Uganda alinga mukazi Musebeyi.
Katoddeyo e Kenya.
Nti mwe Museveni yabajjamu aji ey'okwagala power. Why should the chairman, the district chairperson from the opposition want a change? Bali muwadde kati bwanika yali badde minister mu government ya DP. Naye ati mu government yene yabajega. Afuna obwa chairman. Governor.
Ebisanja bisa.
Lukwago abavuma nabe bajagalira ko nenge motoka jajjiddemu yani yabwe
See a government.
And could this happen kumulembe kwa UPC nga balonde bakansalazi minisita ya balonda ekitegeeza Lukwago teyali kye mulembe kwa UPC. Museveni brings an innovation nakulamu embwa amanyu. Let me tell you, if you can marry your sister.
It's good you said you don't advise the president, because my worry is if you were really an advisor of the president and that was the advice you're giving. Do you believe
singa osobola okuwasa sister wo wali mukkiriza omusajja omulala? Ne bw'olaba reesi y'embuzi eba eyinako egoba. What is the highest trophy? What's the urge of the opposition to get power? If what they would get, they have got more than what they would get.
That is to summarize the whole opposition struggle in monetary terms. We don't oppose government for money. Some people oppose for positions, others want powers, others want prestige.
People operate like snakes. You step on a snake, it turns back and bites you. When you want,
so better you kill it.
If you don't have your enemy, you don't give your enemy an escape route, we'll fight for death. Bano chibakola yensobi jibakola. Nino kugenda mu president office
tuli wa Ruto.
Nino kugenda media center
banjoge.
Nino kugenda mu gondo mu office ne banjoge. Everywhere yanga ndimbwa.
Ruto yabya kalulu. Tokiza nti yabya kalulu.
Nti Ruto bamuteka mu situation yibanteekamu. Natuka n'okulilocating business ze. Ne batamuwa future. You must give your enemy future. But if you place him between a rock and a hard place, fights back for survival. Ruto was
so you look at Ruto
in the international relations, countries are free to use their nuclear capabilities if the country's survival is threatened. This man must go to his home and rot. Don't you know future? Mukulaba koko no ninakubera ndi mupakasiwo. Give Mirundi a future. A rich Mirundi is a nuclear bomb. Ndakubera nga mulukosiro. Munda we ngani akuli. Am I going to die a slave? Omukazi chomwinjira kunoba wuwo. Ano mulumba rejano bedde. Bakuba. Always buli muntu azze n'awamba Kampala. Oluguudo lw'ejjinja aluleka firi. Even in the military science, you cannot make an ambush of a circle. Mufa ne mugwawo. Ruto was not given. Ne mama ngina navayo n'avuma. Oyo mwana yakulira manju. Ne mudda ku mukolo. Nga Ruto gonde Raila ali ne gundi. Atayina kifo. There was a time when Ruto, as deputy president, visited Mombasa. Ne bagalawo ki. Ne bagalawo state house ye Mombasa. The man hired, rented a hotel. Nga bantu batunulira. But this is a man eyayimirira naawe nga babatwala Hague. They traversed Kenya for what they called prayer rallies. Ng'oli naye. Naye nga ni ababonyabonya, who was their tormentor? Raila Odinga. How can you change? Peasants don't change. Yes.
So do you want to say Kenyans remembered that in voting for Ruto?
Yes. It explains why the Kekuyos refused to vote. First of all, they were having a non-Kikuyu in the rest for the first time. They needed civic education. Ate baba ino alternative, nti economy yafu n'otukolachi. Economy yafu.
We control you at them.
We control you. We have the strings we pull.
Okay.
Yes. So the Kikuyus don't protect Chembagamba. Tuchita kudo desocialization politics.
So would you blame Raila for his own downfall? You must understand the mafia gang that is controlling this economy, because we are in state capture. So Raila chichatakoze chiyandikoze okuwangula. What did he do?
One point, abantu bamuagala. They allocated a role for him, and he's not the first one. Waliwo kyokola ennyo abantu ne bakutya. This is why Mukwano Besigye went to Kenya thinking for two reasons. One, nti a victory for Raila would also energize him. How? Ntiragu Zambia amaze yakishimbawe myaka emeka. Wade Senegal yatandika okwesemba mu 71 alidde mu 90s. Nshikedi alwanye ne Mubutu emyaka emeka bwe yafudde mutani we ye yalidde. Kakati people can have a different view about you. Abantu batya beesiga obukambwe bwa bwesige bwayitirira waliwo yakwata akabokisi n'akasanga tebannalonda batya bamutya. Kakati when it comes to old age bw'olemera ku bantu omukazi bw'omulemerako ennyo oyinza omusanga nga baya munyiiziza naga nekyembadde nekumira nakyo kyayenze.
Mbuulira ku bombi omukambwe yaluwa eyasamba akabokisi n'akasa oba yatta abantu eruweru ku bonna yasinga obukambwe
anti it was a war.
So
Museveni tomulaba obukambwe bwa Besigye ensi butya bamwagalako kunyenya muyembe naye tebamuwa. Waliwo bana abasajja aboogera ku mikolo
ate gwe bawa ne mubba
anti kyenkubuulira waliwo abasajja aboogera ku mikolo gwobawa muwalawo bwe bajja okuwaseewo omubawa but they are entertainers. Waliwo omukolo gw'abasoga gwe naliko jjo abasoga ogw'abasoga gwe naliko nga abasajja abo nembagalanye era nembagamba nti abasajja banyumisiza omukolo. But when it comes to marry your daughter, do they accept? They entertain you. You might go a good driver for me. Nenkusaga ni muwala wange nekkuba essasi. I want you to be a driver but not my muko. Kakati society gives you a role. Tirayira bamulabanga mulwanyi. Era ekyo akikoledde Kenya as I said earlier.
So baagala so omulwanyi agabana ddi
we bakwagalira
nze nwanenga bwagabala balya
abanyankole bamuyitani kaswerera yajja n'agamba yayogera ku mikolo gye bagenda okuwasa. Ono musajja omwogezi w'okumukolo agenda najja n'atuula mu ntebe abaana bange mujja wa ebintu neyita mukazi w'omusajja muyite nti mukyala wange akkubirewo ddayo enkeera gye wakoze oboze kubanja. Chairman w'embaga yakoze embaga ey'amaanyi ennyo n'ateekamu ne ssente ze bw'akomawo enkeera abayagala kwana mugole bamutwala talinnya lolo yo yakoze eki. You must understand the role of Raila in Kenya is a liberator and a reformist, but they cannot entrust power with him. Semwogere is a good man, but Semwogere never became era ne Paulo Muwanga teyamuwa bwa vice baleeta Nitoko vice chairman military commission. Museveni bwajja era Semwogere teyamuwa bwa vice yabuwa kazibwe eyayimbanga ennyimba za DP mu kinaana. When you look at Bidandisa Kintu Musoke and Kirunda Kivejinji, the two became prime ministers. Kintu Musoke never minister of local government. Politics, war and soccer depend on luck. To be at the right place at the right time. There are many. You go to Malawi. Omusajja yasinga okulwanyisa Kamuzi Banda. Chirwa. Nichakufa Chihana. When the time came for voting, little known. Bakiri Muluzi defeated them. The people who fought, people in Mirundi, had already been died, persecuted, Ndanda within 1 month. The Kapwepwezi fought Kaunda. But who defeated Kaunda? Chiruba, 3 feet. And the man was perceived to be a Congolese. Politics is Iraq. Katumba wamala teyakubu akosasi mu lutalo bayaye be bali mukubi. When Napoleon bwe yabanga apanga olutalo yamala nga ku evaluating emikisa gy'abakamanda be. Soccer. Even a plane bwegwa bayinza okugamba nti human error, bad weather oba natural disaster. Yes. Talina mukisa, abantu abamu tebalina mukisa. Raila Odinga talina mukisa. Era tajja kuvuga Kenya. In fact ne bagamba kati nti akaluba kaddemu alese Kalonzo Musyoka asinga. Yeta yakkirize.
Bwe bakaddamu. Ekibiina kya Azimio la Umoja emala galeetamu.
Yes.
Naye n'obutuufu
anti bamanyizi naluli bwe yakasazaamu teyajja. Mukitegeere mukibagamba bulijjo. In politics is not a divine power. In politics, you must move gradually. You must move gradually. politics you cannot move from one extreme end of politics to the other. Nti a man nga nakaluba kazzemu gunu lavuma abantu yavuma n'abalamuzi naga nti omuntu omu asazaamu atyaka naye nga ani akuleetedde okuvuma abalamuzi. Uhuru yavuma gundi Chief Justice
Maraga.
Yes, nga ani akakuleetedde gwotuula naye kati is the one you sit with. I tell my daughters there are things you should not tell your mother and me if you are going to go back. Omukazi bw'ayogera ebyama bya bbaawe family emukyawa. You go dressed in a nice suit, but everybody who looks at you has a different picture about you. Image. Uyinza n'okusanga nga nazaala otazze kubuuza oba aliwo omuka atazze kubuuza mugugundi aliwa kubanga lwe yakwogedde. Peasants don't move the way you think. Nti ojja kubajja eno obaleete ate Kenyan politics atambulira ku kingpins the way they humiliated Musoka nti yangu okola interview najja n'agikola ne baga nti ate bakuwangudde. Ate Raila yejja n'adismantlinga ekifo ky'obwa vice. Every vice president in Kenya must be humiliated. Not Ruto. Ruto is a self-made man. Everybody in the government batumala omujunga nga tumukanyuka kasasiro nga era enkyatu mujjayo nga kitwali kyaffe tukitambuza wano nga mwana wani numerayo
tuli ku Ruto.
Ati enkubuulira comparing kalakita nti Ruto yali yabastudyinga dda nti mulumbi bamubonyabonya. Gundi yasooka vice president gundi yali Jaramogi Odinga mulumbi bamubonyabonya. Ani bonna moi bamubonyabonya. In fact amanya Musego kyayogera kituufu nti fools make mistakes as a fools made. When you see how Moi was treated, humiliated, is the way Ruto has been humiliated as a vice president, in spite of the difference. Nti it is a curse in Kenya to humiliate everybody. Bw'omwankuba amawulire nabusayi mukubyemu mwategedde tibwemukuba mu public ejjabba kuba nabalema.
Nanti empisa zo neza nabusayi zanjao. Nabusayi avumaani.
Kino kyasepinga kino.
Avumaani. Bwekikuvumya empisa zo olumba wangamba lasi oba watali lutalo.
Olaba mugamba eni mukyali mu tremors, political tremors. Abanyampi baavaamu. Kati bakifuuwa ne bakinuusa. Bakyagobaana. Tulina gwogoba tebakyali banyampi. Those who can take a responsibility for what they have not done.
What younger you failed to read the environment you are working
therefore, me I don't regulate at all. The public has passed a verdict about me, and that's why I'm here.
Actually, how did you stay long with Mr. Museveni, given your character?
Yes.
Raud the character.
He knew me. He knew
high
the character.
temper.
Museveni does not land on the people. He started me. He did not. Museveni does not. Museveni is not a gambler or a fambola. Museveni uses what? He knows when to use you and when to humiliate you.
To drop to you.
Yes, he knows. Once your role is over, no, you marisi je buyina mawuliti. Mutango mune mbinkubako. Nenkwata ko kamune nkano okubanga abantu nembono. Bino bibakola mu UCC. You are wasting time. Sinza kuyingiza kabuligwe. Tukubempa kama nnaku nyanko kuyingiza kabulika walagwe. Because you are talking about my welfare. Nyizo kuyingiza kabuli. Mu 4 days.
Welfare you ekolebwako. Yes. You were presidential advisor, you get a salary. You don't come to TV to earn money. You simply venture.
To simplify for you. Nti Raila Odinga is not marketable for presidents. Raila Odinga does not have luck. Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta overestimated himself. If he wanted to market Raila Odinga, would have appointed him earlier, like Moi did. Moi appointed Uhuru Kenyatta Minister of Local Government before he became Vice Chairman of Kano. To work with you, he would have worked with Raila and see whether the two. Even the choice of vice presidents. This woman, oyo, mumazo okutte ekifo kya vice, tekiriyo. Bali bagala n'okumujja ko bagadi. They came together ne bakyanda amayini nga kyonna. Ekitegeeza vice president wa Kenya talina mugaso. Alinga wa Uganda. Is an exaggerated aid of the president. Kati mukisi ekitegeeza you could not protect the Kikuyu interests by a vice president who was not a vice president for continuity. A vice president continuity means nti ono bw'afoona atwala. In NRM, a vice president is not a vice president for continuity. No. Because if the president is incapacitated, then the movement convenes and they select a person who can carry the rubengo, the challenges. The vice president wa Uganda siwa continuity. The same, in spite of his early achievement, to change the vice president into a vice president for continuity, Raila attacked the same achievement he had made.
He created it.
Yes.
He helped to create it.
Yes.
And then
because Raila has been a reformist. You are protecting a vice president. They might fool a vice president for continuity. They might ballot. Never I got the attend the process. They might ban the Bachamala. In Umuganda Akugamba, until in the pursuance of a result, you ban the whole house. Separate. Echo from Chireke. Nekakati, Yarita Yinza Onokaruwa. Women don't vote their fellow women. The only marketing strategy for Karua was the next in line. But Musoka also was claiming it. So this is the vice president, but I'm next in line. What type of people, to a peasant, when you are sending a message to peasants, clarity matters. Clarity. Who is next in line? When Kenyans witness an early, when Musoka was fighting with Raila Odinga over supremacy. Because by the time Raila agreed to join the Chibachi's government, Musoka with the vice president or no prime minister, we are two principles. Principle yo sijimanyi, zamu the vice president. Kenyans who are the witness confusion earlier. Would you plant them? Three. When you look at the Kenyan politics, yajamu veriti. Writing books, authoring books, so everybody has written a book. Everybody has written a book. Why? Because the two candidates, their hands were tied. This man Ruto failed to do what? To ballot. Yayagala asigazechi facilities as a deputy president. Atambule werunga hazina na alemeramu. Why did Raila fear to attend the presidential debate? He could not defend corruption in the government. But Ruto had an escape route. He has been doing it. I do not have political power. But Ugandans could not believe that the super minister couldn't have political power. Are you telling us that you sat there without anything to do?
Because you have just said that the Ugandan vice president does not merit about the prime minister.
But the prime minister
it's
even visiting
a welfare job.
Even visiting Nusaf, the prime minister of Uganda, okujja ko nabanja kuba kubedda ne Rugunda ne Mbabazi abadde bayina power. Kubanga power comes with
yasinza power
status.
Ono yasinza power. Va ku muntu agaba ne sente mu
katali. Andi nkugamba.
Ono yasinza power.
Kasinogamba mukazi wo.
Asirisiza buli omu.
Bakasotegera nti mukazi wo wa mputtu. Abe wamwe ne bajja tumugamba kufumba chai. Gamba ndi bane kamba fumbire chai tuli gender sensitive. Kubajja kulemera wa gaito ina mikono. Kati nabanja kwagobya nabanja nganoneke ya mulemerawo. Sebo ndike ne ina sibiki singina lemero nganzi nchireka ngantema kasitone kanemera ko kubulangiti nganchi kusulira unga ngende wa
kati obuzibu bwo oba ne goyagala tulaba byala. So you want to compare ne comparing Mbabazi Rugunda ne Nabanja.
Yes.
Olaba nga bali be bayina power.
Yes.
Nabanja yasinzo kwa
anti ledda asigukulula Rugunda yabo bamubogolera kebyo
Nabanja kujuna the prime minister.
Nabanja nagende gombe ne basikala unga batudda abasawo tebaliyo. Yeru abo ba Rugunda bali diplomatic.
Yes.
Nti Rugunda yategeranga nti oyo simusobola. Bananyini yaba mukolese bwe basinika amanyo nziruka. Naga wae kangende mfumbecha.
Ate Nabanja tayina gwatya. Alumba bonna
atajawani. Bijja mugwako ajawani. Ogenze gombe basirise bati. Bakutunulidde bwe bati. Ogenze mu bulangisi aba refugees bakulese tolinya. Oneke nalemerawo.
Tazogera ko lumu.
Bamuleta talinya, bamuleta kakaba basinika amanyo bwe bati nadduka.
Ya muvubi wabwe mwayagala muvubi. Avubye bulungi.
Abo toberega mu. Abo toberega mu. Bajja amanyo bwega nibasinika enzimu bwe bati bananyini nsi notema nodduka. Kakati abo toberega mu.
The big story
Yes, examine. There's issues.
Kenya eddawa from where we are. Where do we see Kenya?
No, and let me tell you, you cannot force Kenyans twice. It will be gone. I don't expect the Kenyan Supreme Court to decide to cut them. When you see what if Ruto Gonda has won? Yet Nabana Basa to Valley because Baba take them. And this much the oath of secrecy. 2, they create a situation. Are they going to be witnesses or are going to be commissioners? Are you commissioners or you are now going to be witnesses?
It will be court to decide. Court can have them in their commissioner role.
That's why
help clarify.
Ruto kubafe to managing ebintu bye atwe millions of dollars tugende tumugambe. Let me tell you, in Ruto you are going to create a more dangerous person than President Kagame. The moment you don't study sovereignty, sovereignty, the person who knows the sovereignty is
I also agree that many Ugandans think Ruto is theirs. They want to own him.
The person I've seen who knows the sovereignty is my elder brother.
Who?
You know him?
I know you.
Yes.
I'm a new worker.
He looked after me from senior 1, even P7, until A level. But when we have a serious problem in the family, he comes. I think I must water. When he talks to you, I take it. I'm talking to a gentleman, and I am a America.
Gentleman referring to
this man, USA gives money to Israel, much more money than any country. Do they control their foreign policy?
No.
Abaduga for sovereignty abalema. If we want to black a mail, the Ruto was forced to relocate his businesses here. Why? They were not safe in Kenya. Now he's in charge. The only way he can relocate back to Kenya. Because and the 2, Gaddafi bamubuza ekibuuzo ng'Obama wangu kyakalulo. N'abuuza nti what is your comment on Obama? Gaddafi yagamba nti omuddugavu agenda kufuna inferiority complex ku bazungu. To prove that he has the power agenda kuba baddugavu, which he did. If Kenyans are choosing him of being a stooge of Uganda, what he's going to do is to first cut off relationship with Uganda and become his own man.
Again, without Uganda,
a psychologist will tell you, human nature deserves, is fighting for freedom, to get out of the shadow of its mentor. This explains why all leaders who have mentored their successors have turned against them. Nobody wants to be a stooge.
It is only you who has not turned against your principle, but many of them do.
Until the money.
But the reason being,
I know. The president, president called me and like others. Echankuba nchimanyi Museveni yampita. Ngati banna Luiso ne banna Kalima webali. Era Museveni yakunkuludinga nga agamba. Mr. Mirundi.
Oh, yakwitanga Mr. Mirundi.
Yes. Museveni had a respect for me. Era yabagamba nti give Mirundi unfettered access to me. Why? Has the information you people you don't have. Oh, nibazimba.
Unfettered access.
Abatasoma nibazimba.
Awe yakubira. Kyotama nyo yaganda kwa unfettered access.
Nibagamba abatasoma batya buli kintu kyonna. Abatasoma. If you have abatasoma mu institutions in State House, you create trouble. An educated man Tatia, I can transform my labor. This is the difference between us. In trade union, we ensure that you are educated to be able to transfer your labor. Neo muntu yenna startegeera nti kino bwe kivaawo. That's why bagenda mu malogo. Abatasoma bagenda nnyo mu malogo. Kakati the president told me, after listening to the fake tape, and I reasoned with them, was I preaching in the church? Where is the moderator? Nimusimi nagati muli moderator. It's not true. No, you made it. Nagandi mu Baganda mumanyi obukolwa. Obukolwa mbuyita mutya mu Buganda. Nimuganda tubuyita bukolwa oba butululumi. Naye omanyi nti bwezi nga kubasatu omunene bugulya ti kati obukolwa bukulidde okitaawo.
The big story
So therefore kakati siza mulwanyisa unlike other people abatamanya kyabakuba nze namanyi
obukolo bakuba
two bali balwanira organic case ebakubye bamazeewo two president ambitions ziweddewo and for me ne banagenda mu UCC obawa the motion is clear offload me compensate me give me my money